Everyone, welcome back to another episode of your daily dose. We're changing things up a little bit. We're gonna do a account review slash just overview. Maybe see if there's some things that we can tune up. LCS Geo or Geo for short. I assume we're gonna go with that. That's pretty much. I was expecting something a little bit different because I think they mentioned that they were a Wu nation, so it's entirely possible that they've swapped into Shu. Very much a late game account, so don't feel like you need to be intimidated by this type of video. We're just going to be checking out to see if everything is running optimal, and obviously make some I guess some perspective changes. Maybe look at branching in, pull some things out of the bag if there's anything that we can build towards. Honestly, from my initial thought, Shu isn't a terrible thing to go into, and you can probably tell that they're going to be running the Time Hero. Toyo or the other one, very good in terms of just raw DPS. Let's see if we can maybe make some things some optimal. They are running a double arcane, which is not uncommon. So for those that don't know, at a certain point you kind of branch into arcane heroes because they're just so overpowered, and eventually you may decide to keep them, or you may decide to swap them out later on down the track when they become a little bit more accessible. But Dao Chan and Marshall are pretty much the stock standards when it comes to the two main for this generation of Arcane heroes. Be aware that they eventually will be coming out next month with the next one, so the Gen 2s. So you may want to start to specify which nation you would like to stick to. Uh, Arguably, Warlord is the best, and Marchow is the sort of, I want to say, the exception to the rule, just because he pops off so much in terms of raw DPS. Having a look at the account, I would probably start to question maybe some of the artifacts. You could, of course, rotate depending on which ones suit your playstyle. We will maybe do some adjustments with that one, I think, only because from a optimal DPS perspective, this one scales its healing scales off attack percentages. This guy's not really a support-ish hero. He's actually more designed to do continual sustained damage, whereas Dao Chan, I don't think Dao Chan needs the gourd unless she's super squishy. We'll test some things out to see exactly what she's doing, and of course, because you are running an offensive artifact on Dao Chan, I assume you want to see how much damage she can do. I would probably go as far as to say that the Bagu board is probably better on Dao Chan from that perspective because, again, she scales high with attack. Let's have a look at the overall statistics. So this is 4.133. This one might have less attack, 3.816. All right, but if we do some adjustments, potentially that could lead towards a little bit more in terms of the sustainability. I see what you're doing there, though, with you've got your wave breaker, so you're attempting to maybe keep this person as a support. Um, Interesting, because they do quite a bit of damage, if I remember correctly, from other interactions with this type of hero. Another thing too is I would probably try to max these things out a little bit, if that makes sense. So I noticed that you've got a mythic equipped to this guy in terms of the relics, so you're probably working towards that. But you could essentially swap these over and maybe, I don't know with this one though, because there's that Ming D's and that's being D's. So you could probably swap these ones around a little bit, although I noticed that you've started on the Eagle process for Dao Chan. So we'll have a look at a little bit about this. And realistically, it just comes down to overall stat statistics of what you want for these characters. Now, they're not going to be your main DPS. Dao Chan's not going to wow you into like complete, stun mode, but they will potentially give you a well, I mean, they could tip the battle in your favor because of her control abilities, and she does do some form of damage, don't get me wrong. Marshall with the Sky Piercer, an interesting choice. Again, um, depending on what and which position or which slot you intend to place Marshall, you can potentially look at running the Sparrow just because, Well, they're both offensive. They're both going to do a fair bit of DPS, so don't worry about that. As for Wei Yan, nothing wrong with running the nothing wrong with running this. Heavenly Sword, perfectly fine for Wei Yan. I just think that. Oh, let's have a look at your strategies. So you're going to go with these two, pretty stock standard. Nothing you need to change there. Your reserves, you're going to be running your support for Dao Chan, obviously. So you've set some of these ones up, I assume. Is there any other synergies that you need to do? Not really. You went ahead and you bought the index scores for, of course, Garning and Xiao He. You could get spicy. You could run a full arcane lineup, but I don't think it would be very optimal just with the way that the game has set you up for progress wise. You actually got that to 2 star, which is really, really good. So, my only observation is if you are going to be running or attempting to run the relic systems, you don't necessarily you should probably just not have everything at eagle for the offensive. You should try to actually complete the set because that's going to give you the most statistic I guess overview all around. So we might do some resets and we might do some I guess swapping. Might do some swaps, I think would be a little bit better. But first, let's jump in and see how we can do, how we go in terms of raw PvP statistics, see if we can work on it that way. Let's go into here. We're going to go to Warlords Clash. It's not going to let me go to Warlords Clash, so we're going to go to this one. And we're going to go to the ranking system. And who do we want to fight that is around us? 300 strong is close. This guy. This guy's around us. All right, let's give you a fight. Let's see how we go in terms of position. So you've got Ma Chao Zhao Un. You've got Dao Chan in the back operating as support. And of course, you've got Sharpie in the end, which is arguably you don't need to change your MC. A lot of players will use their mythic skins, but I feel like you're probably at that point of the game where if you wanted to, you could potentially swap Xiaopi's transformation into a Dao Chen transformation and try to run a higher level of control. But again, not really. It's not really make or break. You can just wait for them to appear in the transformation event, mainly because there's no point in spending money just to get a transformation. Particularly when they're probably going to be. I'm gonna speculate that they'll be out within 2 months. 2 months time, I'd say that they're going to appear in the transformation event after they've milked the community of all their money. All right, let's see if we can speed this up just a little bit. Let's go up to 7 times. So you got Azure Dragon. I'd say that almost everything would be identical to your opposition at the moment. And they've got Garning, so that's interesting. So they've got him at Mythic. Um, hmm. Just waiting for Marchout to pop off. And we can test some things. We can see whether or not it works better to run Sparrow instead of Sky Piercer on him. Um, I mean, overall, I would say that the difference in damage from the Mythic is going to be a lot higher to the Arcane. Sorry, the Arcane is going to be a lot higher than the Mythic. I keep forgetting that Arcane's the new god tier. I would say the Arcane would still outperform the Sky Piercer, but if you want to keep the relevance of Xiao Un, I mean, it does make sense to put Sparrow on him so that he is actually contributing to, I would say, the overall DPS of the team. But we'll see in a second. I mean, he can pop off. Like, there's no denying that Zhao Yun can actually do some decent-ish damage. My only other alternative would be if you are going to go sort of into a split nation type of thing, you probably would swap out Wei Yan for Gong Sang. I would say maybe Gong Sang. And just run like a half warlord, half shoe nation, and then transition into like whatever one that you would like to do after that. Because ultimately speaking, It depends on how deep your wallet is. Like if you want to really just go all arcanes, you could go all arcanes and mess around with Zhang He and of course Garning. But relatively speaking, this is the meta of pretty much locking down your heroes. Like it's not very fun. I'm not gonna lie. To me, it's not that great. Um, it's literally how many times you can control the enemy and how many times you can be controlled and dispelled. So it gets boring. It does get boring. I'm not gonna lie. And then it really just comes down to RNG, depending on where you can control and who can you control. Um, a lot of players for that reason run Xiaopi because he does have that pretty high passive ability for paralysis, which is exceptionally annoying. Um, Listen, I'm not a fan. I'm really not a fan of the whole control meta, but it is what it is, right? At least you're not fighting a away team because that could be really annoying. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's a certain point where you kind of look at the gameplay and you say, I see why a lot of the earlier generation heroes fall off because they just can't chew through the shields. So instead of overly investing with the Gen 4s or the even to an extent the Gen 5s at this stage, I mean they're still relevant, but you have to think like if your Zhao might pop off, but he might hit 5 times in a row and only just then manage to get past a shield. And then of course they instantly shield up the next round, which is absolutely insane. So I feel like a lot of the experience that a players are going to be facing is going to be just how quickly you can burst them down and how quickly you can be controlled. So as we see here, the burns pretty much killed out Marchal. So we skip ahead here. Uh, he still is doing a considerable amount of damage. You know, Lone Wolf really doing nothing, which is a little bit. I mean, it's not unexpected because at this stage he's sort of slotted in. But even their Lu Su, which is a Gen 2 or Gen 3, I should say, is doing a fair bit. So maybe at this point you could think of potentially swapping out Lone Wolf for say Pang Tong or even Hao Tao if you want to go down the path of mixing and matching. You could probably get away with putting in Hao Tao. He's good. He's got his paralysis and healing. It's more about the paralysis. Pang Tong is not the greatest of supports for Shu, unfortunately, which is what I can see you sort of heading towards. But yes, not a lot of damage in terms of just that. I feel like Toyo managed to do more damage because he can't be controlled, which again is a little bit of the control meta. Let's have a look to see if we can maybe make some adjustments here. Maybe pull some things out of the bag and work on getting some of these things to Eagle, sort of mixing and matching in that respect. But overall, I mean, it is what it is. It's as I keep saying, and I'll probably keep repeating myself, it really just comes down to who controls who in the beginning of the fight, which is very, it can be very, very boring and very, very unrewarding, if that makes sense. So we have pretty much, I think you've pulled everything out that you could conceivably pull out in order to use. Is there anything else that I can potentially do? I'm just looking for these little chests so that we can get some of the raw stuff. I don't think so. Have you done your daily tasks? You haven't done all of your daily tasks. I probably rudely interrupted you there, so I do apologize. Let's have a look to see. Enemies at the gate. No, that's not the one we're looking for. We're looking for not that one. We're looking for not that one. What is this one called again? Maybe you've already done it. Let me just go into the shops. What about if we go into the shops, go to the campaign, expedition? Ah, that's why, because you can't do expedition on a Sunday. Well, that sucks. How many of these are we looking at getting? How many do you have? You own 0 of them. Ah, interesting, interesting. You can convert that though into 200. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. How many of these things do you have? You have 2,000. And you have 1,666. Why are you saving these? That's I don't think. Did you not know that you could convert them? Maybe, because that's a lot of things you can convert. You don't use the basic engraving after a certain point, so that's interesting. So we might be able to get a little bit of advancement here. Fingers crossed. It'll be very very tight, but um, hmm, we might be able to do it. We might be able to get. I want to say Marchow done. And I'm actually gonna swap some things around. I think because Wei Yan is useless, and so Wei Yan most certainly should not be running the tactic there either. Wei Yan not so great. We'll do some adjustments. We're gonna do some adjustments, but first things first, we should probably focus on getting Marshall all the way up, so that you'll get the accuracy bonus of the four sets, which is great. Um, let's just see if we can manage that one first, and then we can work on the rest of them. So, let's just jump into not siege. We don't care about siege. Actually, we'll grab the gold. Let's go into campaign. Let's go back to your expedition. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Expeditions. And I don't feel like this video is not really about, the functional level of powering up. It's more about just making sure we get everything done. We want to kind of make things a little bit more optimal. And of course you can buy some of the advanced ones, but there's no point buying advanced ones. You might as well just see if you can get that. So you can get 23 of you, and how many of these can you get? You can get another 17. So I mean you're on track to being able to get that. So 55 and 23. So we need approximately, I want to say we need to get as many as those. So 34. 34. My goodness, math is hard. 34, so that's 50, that's 57. So we're still a little bit short. Still short. Not that great. Let me just think about this in terms of what resource we have from Arms Race. What can we get out of the Arms Race shop? Spent everything there. I assume you bought some other things, which is fine. Let's have a look. Can we get anything here that might be able to boost us up? No. Okay. Because we've already bought those ones out. Interesting. Well, I think that means we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, but keep working and chipping away at those because, yeah, the basic forms and all that. Maybe you like just hoarding things up and saving it up until you can fulfill it. I don't know. But those ones, I mean, obviously they gave you half of each, so that's okay. What I think we're going to have to do, though, is just manually go in and do some resetting. Um, so we're going to start with Wei Yan because we don't need you, so we're going to remove you. We're going to remove you as well. So that's okay. So you got a 4 set here. Actually, you're going to change this out for that. You're going to change that out for that. You're going to get more power, and this guy's just going to do more damage regardless of the set bonus. Another thing that we're probably going to try and do is this might be a little bit. I want to say this might be a little bit skeptical. I mean, we could run this on this guy. It's not really too much of a problem. I know you're trying to go for your set bonuses and things like that, but we can just run it like this. And if I don't like it, we'll swap it around. But what we want to do is we're going to reset that relic. I need to get those eagles back, and then we're going to go with Marchow. We're going to make you into a beast. Is this the dragon? This is the dragon. Who's running the pyro? Wei Yan's running. Zhao Yun's running the pyro. Who are you running? You're running the cloud deer. Interesting. Actually, we're gonna mess around a little bit. We're gonna mess around a little bit and see if we can maximize the damage because this guy, he's not doing too much. In saying that, let's do some resetting. Let's go ahead and where is it? Where is it? I want to. Where's my option? No, is it this one? I think so. Where's my relics? Where is my relics? Where's my relics? And we're going to reset you. Man, that's so expensive. I mean, we get everything back, but then we have to build it from scratch. Is it better if I just change this? Maybe I can change it though. What is this one? Actually, matcha. Oh, before we like go into it, you know what? Why don't we just change it? We might as well just change it because it's already got the synergy, right? Yeah. All right. All right. Before we go into too crazy, we're just gonna swap these things around because I think that's the synergy, right? They're the same ones. Wow. PB was gonna go a little bit crazy there. um, Marshall, we're definitely gonna remove Sparrow from you. We don't need to run Sparrow. We don't need to. We're gonna change you out to Sparrow. Then we're gonna add some co-ops there. Doesn't really matter about the co-ops as long as it's 7 star. Um, I mean you can do Dragon, but if you want to boost the power up a little bit. All right, and then we are going to run. So we're gonna remove that from you. We're gonna run the Sky Piercer on you, and we're gonna see just how much more damage we can do. And this might only be for PvP situations, so that can be quite interesting. Um, Dalchan, obviously, Gord, not that great, so we're gonna change you. We're gonna mix this up. We'll see. You can always swap this back. It's not gonna alter the account too much, but I wanna see whether or not we can really get some bang for our buck, so to speak. So what is the MC got? You've got that. What have you got? You have this. Wayne's got this. Might as well just take you. We're gonna take the DPS off you. We're gonna throw the Gord on you because you're pretty much useless at this stage. I mean, I'm sure that it's. I'll say that right, and then all of a sudden he'll pop off and he'll do some magical layers of damage. But the reality is, I don't feel that. I don't feel that that's actually going to happen. So we're almost run this on you, even though you might not need the hatred. Let's just see whether or not you can get a little bit of a damage boost, and run this. Alrighty then. So you keep telling me that I need to upgrade attraction, so let's go ahead and synthesize that. So synthesize. Why is it? Why did you tell me to run that? Alright, wait. Attraction. What did you have? You had attraction, and then you had. Oh, you had a level 3 attraction? That's why. Okay. I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. All right, so there you go. So what do you got here? You don't have any runs. You got. So you run Shepherd and Attraction on this. What are you running on Marcha? Deception Inferno makes sense. Firewatch doesn't make any sense because you can't put anyone on fire. Extinguish Confusion. Let me have a look to see. Rage, reduce inflicted when skill. Okay. Rage recovery. It's the second best. What about you? Common enemy, casting a shield, chance to crit on a hero, the same countdown. Yep, shield gain increased by 15%. It would be nice if you could offer shields. And again, that could be potentially something to look at if you do decide to get with Hao Tao, because I believe Hao Tao's transformation offers shields, as far as I know. He does do shielding, which is interesting. Let me have a look. Outfit. You're good for your outfits, transformations. So you got Marshall, and that's pretty much it. Pretty stock standard. I wouldn't sweat about it too much. I assume you've got a mythic outfit though. Do you not have a mythic outfit? No, because you'd be using it. Right. Okay. I mean, outfits are really only good for a certain period of the gameplay. I just would have thought maybe you would have gone with a mythic outfit because you were spending on the family fest event, but that's okay. We can. I mean, you can work towards that. I don't even know if there is an arcane outfit anymore. I assume that eventually it will be. Maybe you're just skipping and waiting for that one, which is absolutely understandable. But it doesn't hurt the account. Realistically, you'd only get a little boost to the passives of Sharpie anyway, so don't worry about it. But in saying that, let's do some more swaps. So this guy, interesting. You haven't maxed this guy out either for his accessories, so what we want to do, what we should probably start to do, did you max this guy out? No. So I think I'm gonna grab some accessory stones, and let me have a look in the bag to see if there's any accessory stones here. I don't know if these packs have accessory stones. They do not. I didn't think they did, but we want to grab some accessory stones if you haven't already done so from Arms Race shop. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Okay, so we're gonna grab the rest of these ones. So that's kind of helping out a little bit. You can work on these ones. You can, of course, go ahead and sort of reset. You can go ahead and reset some of these things later on. Um, Mythically, I don't think you need to worry too much about that. Accessory stones. Where else was the accessory stones? Let me go into the campaign. Let's go to the shop. Let me have a look. Right, we'll grab 100 here. What you got? Well, you do spend resources, which I think is really good. Like, a lot of players don't spend their resources. Like, a lot of them just sort of sit there and save them up. Um, hmm. But in saying that, I would work on that. It's not really necessary to keep working all these. Like, it's better off to get like one DPS sort of maxed out, if that makes sense. Um, Let me have a look if you've got any other ones here. So you got two eagles there. You've got nothing there. Um, you've got stock standard there. What else is there? Most of these are dragon, 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 eagle. Um, I mean, yeah. Let me have a look at your Dao chain though. Let me have a look at this. He's at times 3. Okay. So I think you're working towards getting this one. I feel like this is the one that you're working towards mythicizing, if I'm not mistaken. So I would continue to go ahead and work with that one. I don't know about the whole wave breaker tactic on him though. I kind of feel like let's remove that. If you're gonna run Dao-Chan as support, we might as well run Dao-Chan fully as support. So why don't we go grab that? Why don't we throw the wave breaker on you? And then let's throw some DPS tactics on this guy, Heavenly Cloud. And I would argue out the gate that this guy's going to do a bit of damage. The only reason I'm going to say that is because he can't be controlled. And that is very, very big late game. So Sparrow, we swap this around. We are going to start to work on the Arcane set for Marchow, I would recommend. Honestly, as skeptical as this may be, I feel like this guy is only good if he pops off, but if he doesn't, like we saw in the other rounds, like if he basically just continues to get controlled, the only damage he's actually doing is the Dragon Flame, ironically. So if anyone's confused about that, the only reason that he's really doing damage was because of his tactic, because it scales. So it's not like he was actually putting in much effort, whereas the other guy was actually attacking, which we saw in that video. So let's go back and let's see if we can do some more fight scenes. At this point, I would probably start to do a little bit more of like a little bit of a. I don't want to say you need to adjust a lot of things, but you need to start working towards like a clear plan. And by the end of the video, I'll sort of let you know what to do. I don't really want to go in and reset everything because it's just going to take too long. So we don't really want to go down there, but I will let you know. And plus, you get more enjoyment from doing it yourself too, which is a little bit of a cool thing. I mean, if you spend this much money and you've invested this long in a game, you don't want to take away those little things, particularly if you're just stuck in terms of direction. So we're gonna keep the same formation. I really don't like Wei Yan, but anyway, we're gonna keep him. He annoys me. I feel like Pang Dong would just be better, or Hao Tao, but you can't build them, so that's okay. Unless you've already got him to 7 star, I should probably check that index score. So let's see if Marshall pops off a little bit more. There is a possibility he will. He has the Sparrow. Now, the team you're fighting is stronger, so we have to take that into consideration. I think they're stronger in terms of power. I don't know. I'd have to have a look. I think they are, actually. So you got the stuns off, which is nice. Got glass on it. Oh, that's not good. Glass may kill you. I'm like, glass may actually kill you. This is not good. Reflection, again, a big thing to consider. Now, people might watch this and go, well, that's how powerful like Wu Nation is. Not necessarily. It really comes down to the balance of power, and yeah, we don't need to get into semantics of it, but generally speaking, Wu Nation doesn't stand up that great. Although this is a very nice Wu Nation that we are fighting, which I actually enjoy showing. Because most of the time, the only ones you're going to fight is Shu. It's all going to be Shu versus Shu. So this is a good perception check. Again, Dao Chan maybe going to be able to come in clutch with that Bagu charm. Maybe be able to keep some people alive, do some more of a support role, technically. And then Zhao might pop off. We'll see. Xiaopi's going to die. If he doesn't die now, he's going to die next round. Oh, he's hanging on by a thread. Oh no, Marcha died again. Not fantastic. And like not to be like skeptical about it or anything like that. A lot of the reason why Marchout dies against certain teams is because of that reflection damage, which is crazy. Glass is a pain in the backside, and of course seduction too. Like we basically skipped out of a turn because of seduction just then. After round 3, gunning gets very, very tanky. Wei Yan, do something. What are you doing? Chappie with the paralysis. Thankfully, he died. I don't know how we're gonna go against. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna go now. It's. Oh, Zhaoyun's really low. He evaded. Oh, he dispelled. He repelled. Can you please attack them? Thank you, please. And we died. The reflection is crazy. The burn is crazy. But we're getting closer. We are getting closer. I'm going to be interested to see. Alright, we can skip ahead because Dao Chen can't fight that. Ma Chao doing a little bit less damage. Dao Chen actually carrying the torch with the healing as well as pretty much everything else. Who was the MVP? I wouldn't say... Who was the best? No one was the best. That's weird. Our strategist, though, doing a little bit of work. Pretty stock standard. Again, Lone Wolf not doing very much. Very disappointing. In terms of that, though, this is maybe a good indicator that gunning doesn't do a lot of damage. I mean, he does have a high level of sustainability, but in terms of like the Mythic era, he doesn't necessarily do much. In the Arcane era, he does a little bit more than maybe Zhang He does, but it'd be very relative. I hear Zhang He though has the highest amount of bursts, which I'd love to see. I'd love to test out a Wei Nation. Um, Pretty stock standard though. Interestingly enough, Dao Chan still topping it off. Toyo did die early on, and you have to keep in perspective that this account is a couple of 100 billion above us. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can fight something a little bit closer to our power range. We got 530. I'm just looking for a solid 4. So yeah, 200 billion above. Is there anything close? Not really. Now, I assume you're working in index stores because that would be the next most logical thing to do. We're going to give a go. We're going to give this guy a go and see whether or not we can see Marshall pop off. I think most players know exactly what he can and can't do. Against the Warlord Nation, very interesting. It would be great if we had Demon's Raid though. I would like to see this in some PvE. I imagine that your time hero is just gonna absolutely annihilate. I imagine he's gonna pop off. Then we could go hunting. I guess we could go hunting in Siege as long as we don't kill anyone, right? And he dies. The reflection is so big. This is the scary thing. This is the truly terrifying aspect of this level of gameplay is the amount of reflection damage that your heroes, same as Zhao just kills themselves. And Marchao is no exception to that. There's no way to mitigate that either. Unless you maybe ran the dragon halberd on them, but why would you do that? But you know what I mean? This is like the level is just crazy in terms of them just killing themselves. And that's mainly because of the monsters. Some of it is due to the passives, but it's, yeah, tactics monsters. Yeah, it's crazy. As much as I'm rooting for Gong Sung, I don't think he's going to be able to do very much. Hmm. Well, you all saw that with your own eyes, right? And now he's charmed, and then he's dead. Coming in hot, though. I do like that. I do like the fact that Dao Chan is still throwing it down. So Marchow, of course, doing the majority of damage. He also took, if you have a look how much damage he did take an exceptional amount. But I believe that's a lot of it's got to do with the reflection. Not as too much of a criticism. It's got nothing to do with your account or anything like that. But that's just the game. The game is it's slowly becoming annoying when it comes to that sort of stuff. And I guess the only way to counter that is the more shields you have and etc etc etc. But Marshall should definitely I wouldn't say he should definitely, but he should be up there in terms of raw DPS. Him and Dao Chan should be leading the charge. Zhao Yun eventually, if he does get an opportunity to pop off, he'll still do a considerable amount of damage. Wei Yan, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I think that he should be swapped out for something else, particularly a support here. I mean, if you want to keep the Shu formation bonus, I would recommend going with Pang Tong. If you don't care about that, go with Hao Tao. Or Gong Sung if you want to do some more DPS slash damage. Let's have a look at your indexes. Um, I think you might have already 7-starred them though. Have you 7-starred them? No. So you've got 1-star Gong for the index scores. Alright. What about Pang Tong? Have you built Pang Tong? You've only got a 1-star Pang Tong. Alright. So that's probably why you went with Wei Yan. So I would say next time round, start working on Pang Tong when you do get the opportunity. Excuse me. I would recommend leveling him up and then swapping Wei Yan out for him, just because he doesn't do anything, and Pang Tong at least offers a passive bonus buff. And I assume this guy does have a passive. Let me have a look. Info. What's his passive? Ultimate type. When attacking, 75% to reduce one counter effect. Wei Yan's ultimate. No, he doesn't really have a good passive. Where's Pang Tong's passive? I should probably remember this one. I do know that he does have a sealing ability, which is interesting. Or he has a shackle ability, I should say. Iron Shackles. Pang Tong increases his accuracy and heals increased. Pang Tong has 35% control effect. One random ally and heals the ally with the highest HP. After casting Rage, reinforced Rage Consumption, Phoenix Formation, increase all allies' reflected damage reduction. That's important. Reflected damage reduction is so important in the late game meta. I would be running Pang Tong purely for that. I know a lot of people might disagree, and I'm happy to discuss that in the comment section down below, but the reflection damage is what's killing you quicker than anything else in this game. And that's pretty much the end game meta. And I can understand you probably been thinking, do I need to change my team? What do I need to fix and stuff like that? Not anything that I can see. There's nothing that yells and screams, oh, you need to adjust that. Everything working is very well. I would continue to work on leveling up your seals and getting them to mythic, and then working on keeping the set. You need to have them both eagle. Instead of going one eagle, go both eagle so that you get a bigger set bonus. That's important as well for your accuracy. Accuracy is probably not a major issue, but I would work towards getting that. I don't think that there's anything else that you necessarily need to do. You have all your beasts. You have all of them maxed out. You have your mythic one. Obviously, Pixie is the last one that you can work on. Everything is great in terms of that. Your indexes, I assume, is going to be fine. There's literally nothing you can do for your indexes anyway. But overall, very good. Star Karma. How are we going with Star Karma? Have you been working on these ones? I would start to spend some of the gold when you do get a chance to buy a couple of these mythic Star Karmas and start working on those ones. I mean, there's some opportunities for you to progress. There are. And to activate. I mean, particularly with the legendary ones. You could be spending some gold to grab some of these legendary Star Karmas. That's kind of where I would say start spending some gold and grab those ones. Obviously, you will get a chance with some of the RNG things that come up with the events, but that's my overall observation. Still a very, very nice account. If you do have any other questions, let me know in the Discord as well. I can help direct towards there. But I think as it stands, you're in a good position. You're in a great position. It's just going to be whether or not you can find ways to mitigate that reflection damage, which I think Pang Tong will be able to do for you. His passive ability might be able to assist there. If you do have any other questions, though, anyone in the comment section down below or Facebook, make sure you hit us up on those platforms. I will be doing another account review later on this week for some Discord members. So if you want to get on the account review bandwagon or suggestions, make sure you are in our Discord in the link in the description field below. Of course, you can reach out on Facebook and ask to do it that way as well, but I do prefer Discord just because I don't get around to Facebook a lot. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for letting me have access to your account there, LCS Geo. It was a pleasure, and I do like to see the fact that you are running both of the arcanes. I'm excited to see what will happen next. Very expensive though, I will give you that. But I think the star of the attraction is going to be this guy right here. Anyway, until next time.